Hi there everyone, happy Tuesday to you. I hope you're all enjoying a lovely Tuesday so far and you're not all too hot yet. I know that summertime is great, but it's getting a little warm for all of us, California spoiled people. I wanted to provide you some really great content today regarding a new app that I have partnered with and I'm really excited to share with you. It's still a bit of a learning curve for me as I'm not extremely privy as a classically trained musician on the technology world fully yet, but I'm getting there. I have a bunch of incredible content to share with you, interesting ways of how to stay creative, but one I wanted to begin suggesting to you, if we look down below together, is an app, and the app is called Splice. And if we look up Splice, Splice is royalty-free sounds and rent-to-own plugins that you can essentially put within the system of samples, where there's a bunch of different royalty-free samples that people have recorded themselves to give you sounds, but they're not synthesized sounds. They do have that as an option, but they're live sounds. So you can go into brass and you can choose a bunch of different brass sounds. Maybe you love the sound of the flute and you want an ambiance, provided in your song that you're about to create, and it just gives you some inspirational ideas of what you can add to your own music. And the cool thing is it's not just something that provides samples which are made from a synthesizer again. So it's pretty cool in that regard. And it says, let your creativity flow. Join over 1 million musicians using Splice to find sounds, get gear, and connect with one another. You can sign up for free. It is $7.99 a month after the 7-day trial, of course, to see if it's something that you like. So you can preview and download millions of sounds from top producers, artists, and sound designers. And scrolling down a little bit more, you can stock a toolbox so you can try professional plugins on a rent-to-own basis for free, then pay them off starting at $4.99 a month. So there is an option to do that. And also it says staying in sync, where you can back up your work in the cloud with unlimited free storage and add artists to collaborate with. And there's a community you can also find. And if you see some of the featured magazines and stations that already feature Splice are Billboard, NPR, The Verge, HuffPost, and Bloomberg Business. So there's a few different companies that already exist using and promoting the Splice app. So if we go into the app, you can see all these different samples that there are, but say that we start here where there's you have a browse option and you can browse through many different options. As you can see, OMG Ronnie, Electro Swing, 1985, so on and so forth. And of course you can look at this on your own time, but there's a bunch of top packs where you can actually choose a whole pack to pick of a bunch of different beats and sounds. And this is one of a bunch of different sounds called Natsu. And it's just a random one that I'm choosing, and you can see some are 1 second long, some are 8 seconds long. There's a couple that I've seen, for 2 minutes long. So let's pick an 8-second one. It's very outer spacey, I feel, and it could be a really, really great added sample to a techno beat or something. And then I saw the Super Mario Brother kit, which was pretty cool. So there's a bunch of different, Soul Surplus, Splice Sessions, Sounds of the Summer, Support Black Creators, Top Trap and Hip Hop Sounds, Jazz and Soul. So they are up to speed with options. I mean, there are a ton of options for you to look at. And then there's a search feature. And when you go to the search feature, which I've been kind of enjoying this, you have your different instruments to choose from. So obviously there's percussion, strings, vocals, and the vocal sounds could be pretty cool, to add as a background. An instrument, of course, because we don't sing with voices, right? So much we play an instrument and it's our voices being sung through the instrument. So say that we just select this first one. It's 59 seconds long. It's got a nice little soothing ambiotic voice to it. And there's a nice little minute-long ambiotic feel. It's got a little bit more soul to it. It's kind of in the background, you know, so it just little example of kind of the options that they have. So if we choose this one right here, this 27 seconds long. Let's see. Melody loop construction rhythm. So much you could do. I'm not doing anything too crazy. I'm just trying to give you a little bit of direction in how you want to use this wonderful app, and I'd love to know what you think of it. Right now I'm still figuring things out as I go, but I wanted to share with you in the following content a couple other ideas of how I've been able to stay creative. I'll see you soon.
Having a wonderful day. I have the air conditioning on because obviously it's warm, and I hope it doesn't make too much noise for you. We're getting started here today, and if you haven't heard of it, there's this really incredible platform out, a new app called Splice, and it's pretty dope because you can actually take royalty-free samples and you can mix your own sounds with them. Now, for me, it's been a little bit difficult to try and figure all of this out as my hair's flying in here because I don't know much about DAW, and if you're a classically trained musician, I'm sure most of you probably don't know about what that is either. And I'm learning and I'm figuring it out. But in the meantime, I thought it'd be really cool for you to see my little beat setup and what I'm currently using. All of the cool sounds you can actually make on this beat platform that I have. It's what I would call my pedal board, where a lot of guitar players have what we call a pedal board. Well, for me, it's really all exciting because as a horn player, I just have this little cute bag from the Bone Company, which is awesome, by Gator, and it's a little bag just like my Rat Stands bag that keeps all of my sound stuff kind of in one spot, in one place, location, so it's all together. So here it is, my little pedal board. Once I set it up here, it'll be better visual. But all I really have on here is a Beat Buddy system, a ditto looper, and I actually have a super overdrive, which is really cool. I have some other pedals. I haven't really gotten too into them yet to figure out what I'm supposed to do with them or how I'm actually supposed to use them. So it's kind of a work in progress, but what I have now is super cool, and I use it to the best of my ability when I'm using it, which obviously makes it pretty cool. And I know in my creative space living video, how to get creative in a tiny place, I kind of introduced you to some of this like phantom power situation stuff. So I always add that to my box, while I'm playing. And a lot of times I have little Velcros, sticky adhesive things on the pad, so then I can let things stay in place, kind of together all at the same time. But this is such a cool little toy, and I'm so excited to show you all what it can actually do, because it's a quite enjoyable situation once everything is properly set up. Now I have to turn on my amp. And it's getting used to all of these different chords that I've had, I think, the biggest time transitioning with. So I cannot wait till I can figure out this whole, app situation and how to use it and how to benefit from it, because I don't really know what I'm doing. And I would love to be able to figure it out. And again, it's a work in progress, so we're getting there. I've got my Rolling Stones book. It's going to help me out to make that a little bit higher. Okay, so the amp is successfully plugged in. All of these wonderful chords going down. That is successfully plugged in. So now I need to take my trusty dusty, and it's even knowing what all these chords are called. I mean, it has just been such a a process trying to understand what this is all about, but definitely fun. So I've got my auxiliary here. Plug it into that, and usually I wait to turn it on, but I didn't do that today because, well, I just didn't. And then we stick this into the Beat Buddy system, and if all goes the way that God planned it to go, it's supposed to work. Oh, but there is another cord I need to plug in. See, it's literally the process of all of the different cordage happening. Okay, let's see that. There we go. And we are set up. Okay, I love this folding table that I have in my place. My wonderful boyfriend made it for me when I first moved in. You can see, you could just lift it up and drop it down. I'm not really going to need so much of a music stand today, as we're just kind of making some beats up, which I thought would be a lot of fun. And now the options I have for all of the beats for me to do are, we can do oldies, pop, punk, R&B, which is always fun to play, reggae, rock, techno. Should we do some techno? That could be a lot of fun today. World music, tango, and then this is really a cool situation. If I can get it a better view for you, let's see what a ballad could do. A ballad, I'm reading this upside down, but there's the symbol. So when obviously I have this will be down at my foot, right? Because that's what a pedal board does for most of you classical musicians that have maybe seen them but don't really understand what they do. It's literally a work in progress. I most of the time don't know what I'm doing, but I just kind of try to figure it out as I go. And that is the cymbal key. So when I'm playing, I can just, feel the cymbal and play it. And then this is how you start the beat, and it gives you usually like a 4 beat count off. This is 100 beats per minute. Okay, that's a pretty good bossa nova feel. Let's see what we got. Oh my God, that feels so bad. So it's got a pretty good groove to it. Really cool things. I'm kind of just playing around, making random stuff up, which is a lot of fun, and it doesn't sound horrible. Now, something else really cool that this does is the ditto looper, and I'm just going to play an example for you. I don't know, it was earlier last year, and I can't really figure out how to get this off of the ditto looper, and I really want to because I want to continue using it. But if I press, okay, check it out. Now, this was a classical piece that I just added some beats to. Here we go. plan a fourth part. Obviously, I'm not completely, perfectly in line with all of the notes and all of the right pitches. And if you notice, I made a mistake, and then I kind of just made something up around it. And it's really good because it gives you the time and the tempo. And Bach has a groove. Bach has a feel. Bach was a badass. And so many artists today are doing these same influential sounds and using these influential beats based on music from the past. So it's kind of cool in that way where you're bringing music from the past, and some of you classical players have played this stuff over and over again for years and can play it in the back of your head and have it all memorized. And a lot of other people are on the other end of it where they've maybe never played the classical stuff, but they could pick up on listening by ear and emulating other sounds that they are hearing, but really understanding where music was based off of or where it actually came from to today. It's just really cool to incorporate it with this new software and technology that I cannot wait for my next content to have more updated, products, and I can figure out this Splice app. But you should definitely check it out if you are a beat person or if you're a classical, musician that loves jazz, or you find oftentimes, you're listening to music that just makes you groove. It really helps to become a groovier player yourself, and it kind of helps open up your sound, I believe. It helps open up the feel of what you're trying to do. It helps with creating phrases, because the constant beat going on here is not just a beat of a metronome that I mention so often on, my software apps of using that for hearing and ear training. But the beats are a pitch. So there's actually so many drones going on within the drum part, which makes it a really cool situation. The cymbal, and then when you add the beats into it, listen to all of those ranges that you're hearing. Even a really cool way to get into the groove. That low range a little bit. Start on a whole note on a low F. Up and down in one breath is a really, good way to expand your breath control. Sometimes, the glissandos, it gives you the oompha that you kind of need when you're practicing, by yourself with nothing else. It's great. It's wonderful. And that's what you should do all the time. But I think after a certain point in your career, you want to, explore different variations and different styles and different options. And I thank my Dreamcatcher world for all of this wonderful equipment that you see in front of me, because if it weren't for me working for that company, I would have even less of a clue at how to use all of this stuff. And yeah, it definitely takes time, and I plug it up, plug it in, but it's a really wonderful resource. It's wonderful motivation and inspiration. If you're looking for beats, definitely check out the Splice app. If you know about DAWs, you should have no issues. They have an option to link it with GarageBand, which is really great. And I know most Apple users have GarageBand. So I hope this offered you some beautiful inspiration today, and a happy motivational Monday to you, as it is magnificent. Outside it's a little bit hot, but keep yourself inspired. Keep supporting music and live music, and let the music heal you. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you next time.